Hello there. How are you? Today, I want to talk about the humble thank you note. I know, and I certainly have used this many times. And in fact, it is probably what has been the single most contributing factor to the advancement of my career. And that's the humble thank you note. And I learned this from someone many years ago, or I read about it many years ago, where someone was advised by his mentor and shared with me that finding reasons to send thank you notes to people does a few things. And some people do it because they have their little hidden agendas and they go, well, if I send a thank you note, the person's going to appreciate it and they'll do me a favor. And while this is true, the primary reason for sending thank you notes is so you express genuine gratitude for what someone has done for you. And it's kind of old-fashioned, right? But here's why it's so important. It's because it's old-fashioned, because it's so unexpected, that thank you notes can have a massive impact on people. I know when I've interviewed people, for example, when I was hiring in corporate, interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people in my corporate career, because I was at the time recruiting and responsible for hiring huge teams for some of the biggest digital and transformation programs in Australia. The ones who stood out for me were the ones, obviously, who were thoroughly prepared, who had great resumes, nice, sharp, succinct resumes, who told a good professional story in their resumes. But the ones who stood out for me and who may not have fit the role that I was hiring for, but that I ended up giving chances later on, were the ones who had the courtesy and the good manners and the good breeding, I suppose, to send a thank you note, even though they hadn't gotten the job offer, even though I hadn't given them the job because they weren't the right fit in too many categories. They sent a thank you note, thanked me for the opportunity to interview with them, asked for some feedback, which I provided. But because they took that extra mile and also wished me well and thanked me, but wished me well with the candidate that I had chosen. That kind of thing really stands out. And I myself had been practicing it for years. I didn't actually tell anyone at that time to practice, but I noticed some people did it and I noticed it resonated with me. And I realized when I've talked to other managers and other people I've worked with and people that I sent the thank you notes sent the thank you notes to, it resonated with them as well. I mean, I think there's something about receiving something different, because often we might get complaints or you get the feedback from candidates that it's unfair and they want to know why they didn't get the role. They often request that feedback in an aggressive way, never saying thank you for the opportunity. And that's one of the reasons it stands out so much. When you do it in a genuine way and you find reasons to send thank you notes, not just in your career space, but thank you notes for all the different things that people do for you. And this is in your personal life as well. There's apparently something that happens to the brain. And certainly from my point of view, I can say that that's true. There's something that happens in the brain. You start looking for more reasons to send thank you notes. It's a feel-good thing that happens in the brain. And so it uplifts you, uplifts your spirit. And there's scientific evidence and studies and psychological studies that show gratitude and thank yous and recognizing the blessings and actually expressing that towards the people that bless your life, not only uplifts them, but it uplifts you. And the more you do it, the more you look for reasons to do it. And then from a spiritual, I suppose, point of view, depending on what you believe, I've heard many people say that the more you look for things to be thankful for, the more the universe gives you things to be thankful for. Now, some people might not subscribe to those belief systems. I've certainly seen it true in my life. The more I give thanks, the more I send thank you notes, whether it's to professionals I've done business with, whether it's to friends, community, family members. There's just a kind of a buzzy, joyous feeling that occurs around that. And so I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth the effort. And here's the thing, it doesn't cost you much. A little bit of time. You don't even have to buy thank you notes. I actually have bought a number of various thank you notepads because I like the pretty pictures on them and I like handwriting my thank you notes. But you can easily go to a place like Canva and design your own little thank you note with your own kind of logo or your own kind of message or slogan or motto or quote, and start using that towards the people in your life, your friends, family, community, work colleagues, people you do business with. Try it and see what happens. As I said, it trains the brain. The brain starts to see the value around you, in the creation around you, in all that you're experiencing. And the more you train the brain to see the value and to give thanks for the value, no matter where that value comes from, I think you'll have more reasons to continue that cycle. It's well worth practicing. I do it myself. I do it consistently. I've done it throughout my career. And I believe personally that that's what brought me a lot of the success, where people remember you. I mean, a lot of my contracts and my roles that I did when I was in corporate was through the referral network. And I know a lot of that happened because people kept me front of mind simply from the humble thank you note. So give it a shot and see what it does for you and your life and your career and your business if you have a business. And I hope you have a great day. Give thanks always. There is always something to say thank you for.